Everybody, it's Peter from the Kia Hyundai channel, and welcome to our live video series. Sorry, I screwed that up. All right, we are taking a look today at a request by you guys for a comparison between a couple Kia Fortes. So oftentimes you'll hear me say, if you're gonna buy a Forte EX, you should consider the EX Plus. It's not a lot more and you get a little bit extra. Well, I had a request to look at the EX Plus, the EX Plus, which is there, and compare it to the EX Premium, which again gives you just a few little features that are basically identical on the outside, very similar on the inside, but there are some key features and a lot of features that don't show up in the spec sheet actually show up quite nicely in, for instance, this video. So what we're gonna do is we go really in depth here. If you've never seen these cars, you wanna compare them, if you wanna compare them to something else, you're gonna see the information you need. Now, here's the thing. These cars have been out for a while, so we're gonna have probably a smaller live audience than we normally have. That means that you can ask questions either in the live audience or you can ask us questions after, and I'll do my best to answer them. So that's how this works in the next 2 minutes. So basically, if you're looking for just the content of this video, you can skip ahead to the 3-minute mark. That's where we'll get started with the live or with the actual content. In the meantime, we're gonna let our live audience build for a minute, and then we'll jump right in. Okay, so let's flip the camera around right now. If you want to join us on our live video series, you just have to go to our YouTube page at exactly 2 o'clock on a weekday. So there's our YouTube page. If you refresh the page exactly at 2 o'clock, you will see our homepage changes around. And instead of having sort of the standard video that sits here, you'll see our live video right there. Someone said they just got a Volvo ad. Oh, well, you know. All right, we're going to click in that and we're going to see what kind of ad we get. Let me just see here. We are getting a, what are we getting here? This is I don't know, it's for a competitive dealer from the sounds of it. Anyways, if you are watching live with us, if you want to support our channel and you live in Ontario, give us a chance when you're buying a car. It's Brantford Kia, Brantford Hyundai, and Owen Sound Hyundai. Those are the 3 dealers that support this channel, and that could help us out, or we could help you out, and that helps out me here as I'm filming these for you. All right, we're gonna skip these ads for a second. As I said, it's gonna be a nice quiet day today. Not a ton of people are gonna be interested in this car. We've done this car a lot of the time. So we've done this, I don't know, we've done probably more Fortes than anybody in the world. I think that's fair to say. This channel has done 2021 Fortes probably more than anybody. Somebody just said follow us on Instagram. Yeah, for sure. There's our Instagram right there. Every day before we post, you can follow us there. And sometimes you can ask a question. Maybe you can't join us live, but you can see what we're posting and you can say, hey, I want to know this about the vehicle. Can you include that in the video? And that's what some people have done, and I've done that for them. So the only thing I can ask for those 11 or so people that are on right now, do me a favor, hit that like button for me right now. And we'll get going in just 1 second here. 3 minutes is right here. All right. All right, we're at the 3-minute mark. So 3-minute mark, content starts. Let's flip back around right here and take a look at these 2 cars. Give me 1 quick second while I just check my screen here. All right. Okay, so we've got the EX Plus and we've got the EX Premium. So EX Plus and EX Premium are very similar looking, and they are a step up from what most people buy. And the reason I think you should really consider them is they're not that expensive overall in the car world. A lot of people buy a car and go, oh, I just want to keep my payments as low as possible. And I fully afford that. There's nothing wrong with that. You should do that. You can get Fortes far cheaper than the ones that we're showing today. However, if you're the kind of person that wants to keep your car for a while, or you're the kind of person that doesn't understand those people that really enjoy their car, sometimes it's that little bit extra that you spend that makes you one of those people that go, wow, I really love my car, I really enjoy my car. Because a lot of people in the Forte market, they're kind of appliance shoppers. They need something to get to work and back, and that's kind of where they end it. Don't want to spend more than I need to, and it's just a thing, it's just a car. And if you're the kind of person that speaks to you, this is something I just want you to consider. Because if you step up a little bit, you may find out why people really enjoy their cars instead of just kind of drive it to work. So what we're going to take a look at is these 2 cars, and we're going to show you some differences here. So just so you know where we're going, in the next half hour, we're going to go through these cars in depth, in detail. We're going to compare them inside and out. We're going to look at all kinds of things inside, trunk space, rear seat space, a lot of differences that don't show up on the spec sheet. And we're going to spend about a half an hour doing that. If this video is longer than that, we've just gone off topic after that 30-minute mark. All right, the EX. This is the key fob for the EX. It is a little slight bit thicker than, sorry, this is the EX Plus. It is a little slight bit thicker than the EX Premium because it is a keyed car. You can take that key and fold it down into the thing, and you've got your key fob in your pocket there. Now, I don't know if you can see the difference. It may not show up on camera, but it is noticeably thicker Actually, you can see it in the buttons there. I think they are different. It is noticeably thicker in my hand than the EX Premium. EX Premium is a lighter key, it is a thinner key, and there is no key. It's a push button start. So a lot of people sort of stop right there. Okay, I got a push button start on this car. That's why I'm buying this key fob. But that's not the only thing you're getting. You're getting an extra trunk button at the back. So this is a car with a keyless entry where you can walk up to the trunk button, keep your key in your pocket or your purse, touch your button there, and it'll pop up. Or you can keep it in your pocket or your purse. You can walk to the back of the car. It has a smart lift gate. By standing at the back of the car for 3 seconds or so, it'll blink 3 times or 5 times in 3 seconds and beep, and it'll pop the trunk open all on its own without touching anything. So if you are someone who likes some extra features, that's what you're getting in this key as well. The other thing is this key for the entirety of this video can stay in my pocket, whereas this key for the EX Plus, I will need to be pulling it in and out as I use it. So both of them are going in my pocket for now. Hopefully I don't punch a hole in my pocket because I didn't fold that key down. You know what? I'm going to fold that key down. All right. Where we're going to start actually is on this EX Plus model. And you can see right now, pretty cool color. I really like doing this color with these wheels. And you've seen the EX Plus a number of times in that color. We sell a number of these. So I just seem to always gravitate to these two things. And I say gravitate because it's literally called Gravity Gray. So see what I did there? All right, am I wrong? I think it is called Gravity. Yeah, it's just called gray on there. Anyways, these wheels are 17-inch wheels. So when you move up from the EX to the EX Plus, the biggest thing you're getting is these bigger wheels, LED headlights, which I really, really recommend. LED headlights, if you can spring for them, night and day difference, and I really mean that night and day. It actually makes the night or nighttime turn into more like a daylight color, makes things more easy to recognize, and it is a better lighting system. You also have the sunroof. So that's the big step up. Visually, the wheels are the big difference. Over here, EX Premium, it's an identical look from the outside. The only difference is there's a little button on the door. I don't know if you can see that little button on the door. We'll show that right here. And that's about it on the outside because you're having the LED lights, you're having the same wheels, and they are 17-inch, and it looks a little sharper. So sometimes cars just look a little bit nicer on the outside. Has to do with a little bit larger wheels sometimes. So let's jump into the driver's seat here. And I'm going to show you some things here that are common in both cars and uncommon. So the EX Plus, basically the EX model, includes a lot of safety features. You've got things like the blind spot detection, lane keeping assist. Lane keeping assist can actually steer this car by itself, keep it centered in the lane. Let's jump in here. If you haven't seen a Forte before, you've got these aircraft style gauges, which are pretty cool, or gauges, vents, which, excuse me, my lunch is half stuck in my throat. All right, just turn those there a little bit, and that will allow you to have airflow through this car. And again, because this is a key start car, it works like every car you've ever owned before this, unless you have a push start. All right, we're not going to turn the car to fully on just because we are indoors, but we are, of course, going to let you see what goes on here. Now, fuel efficiency number, yeah, that's probably common. You can do better than that. Usually, dealership numbers are pretty much worse than in normal times. Somebody says, hey, Peter, hey to you. So ignore fuel efficiency numbers as a general rule when you see our videos because a lot of dealership cars idle. But you can see you've got a lot of information in the dash here. You've got your lane keeping system, which will turn it on. Lane keeping assist, which helps you, keeps it centered in the lane. It's pretty cool to have this feature because on a long drive, the car will stay centered in the lane. And it's just a big thing that people forget how nice that is on a long drive. And to be honest, I've got one car that has this feature and one car that doesn't. And I road tripped the other day, the last weekend, in the car that didn't. And it's funny how much you kind of wander in the lane. You have to always do this, right? Whereas if I drove with this car on that same trip, you just set it, your hand stays centered in the middle, and the car will keep itself centered in the lane. It's just nice. I know it seems weird for people to have the car steer for itself. It's not weird at all. It's pretty cool. All right, I'm just gonna peel the shipping plastic off of this car here. That'll help decrease some glare on your video. And we'll put that right there for now. All right, so this screen is really great. You've got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in here, and that's an 8-inch screen. You can see the clarity of it when I'm filming our backup camera. So first of all, camera, the lights just turned out in the room. Hey, great. We'll turn them on in a second. So it's darker now than it should have been. But so there you go. There's a camera. The backup camera is working in low light conditions it is clearly seeing every line of the floor and half the dirt in there. And I'm filming a screen. That's not a good way to show clarity, but you can see the color clarity, the precision of the lines here. We have some of the best backup cameras in the industry, and it really makes a difference because you can see, and when I turn the wheel just a little bit, when you're backing up, the yellow lines and red lines guide or sort of show roughly where you're going, but the blue line will line up exactly with a parking spot. So when you get that squared with the parking spot, you can straighten that wheel back out and you'll know you'll be completely centered in that parking spot. Super little simple thing that's in all of our Fortes, and it's kind of nice to have. So we're gonna put it back in park there for a second. Scroll down here, you've got our nice vents, everything else. Four-way flashing is a button right there in the center. Nice and easy to use. And then in this particular car, you've got the manual climate controls. Now remember these because they are different in the EX Premium, and you may want to move to the EX Premium to have a little bit nicer experience with that car. Coming down, excuse me, I still got, I gotta get a drink or something. Oh boy. Anyways, got that thing's my lunch there. Down here, you have the wireless phone charging pad. Now, you do get this in one trim line below, the EX model, but that wireless phone charging pad, first of all, it's a really logical spot to put your phone. It's out of your way. It is rubber gripped here, so it's nice and grippy, and it does charge your phone wirelessly if you set it there, which is a nice feature to have. It's one of those things where you don't realize how much you need it until you have it, and then you never end up with your phone being dead because you hop in your car a little bit here and there, and it's always there. And down here, USB port to charge devices, USB port for charging and for connecting to your, yeah, somebody says, drink some water, Peter. USB port for changing the, or connecting to Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And then a 12-volt port on the far side. So you still got the old-fashioned port there as well. Now, this transmission is an IVT transmission. This car won in 2019 when the car first came out. It won Canadian Small Car of the Year. It almost won Overall Car of the Year. It lost that year to the Kia Stinger. People in the auto industry hate CVT transmissions. They are traditionally not very driver friendly. They just aren't very good, but they are good for fuel efficiency. The testers, excuse me, I'm having trouble today, guys. The testers for Canadian Car of the Year like this transmission. It is an IVT transmission, which is a version of a CVT transmission. It gets you fantastic fuel efficiency, but it drives normally. And that is a big feature with some of these IVTs and CVTs and stuff. They don't drive normally. So this one, put it in drive and off you go. If you want to shift on your own, you tap it over here, up and down like that, and you can shift between gears on your own. Now, I want to show you one cool thing. In these cars, you have drive modes, but when I just move the gear shift lever to the left like I just did, that will throw it in sport mode. So you can get that sort of tactile feel. You can hit the buttons to get to sport mode as well. And there's a few drive modes here, sport, normal, and smart. I'll show you just up on the screen there, but you can hit the button or you can move the gear shift. So normal is there, sport is there, and smart is right there. So, so a Gabriella just joined us. I just want to be clear to people, we have a Gabriella here. That is not the Gabriella that joined us. She's absolutely welcome here. But just so you guys know, if you're sending messages back and forth, that's not my coworker who also sometimes jumps on and comments. But very nice to have you, Gabriella. Anyway, so sport mode is here, and the drive modes are also through there. So you can cycle through them quite nicely. Smart mode is the new eco mode. It's going to give you fuel efficiency. But if you hit the fuel pedal a little harder, it will move it into the sport mode or the normal mode depending on how you drive. So smart mode will go for economy all the time. A couple things that I really like down here. Let's get the gear shift out of the way again. Rump roasters on the front seats, left and right side, 3 levels of drivers and passengers seat heating, and a steering wheel heater, which not a lot of people realize this car has a steering wheel heater, which is something we should know. Gonna flip the camera right around and look straight up at the ceiling, and terrible view of me, but great view of the sunroof in this car. All these cars have sunroofs as well. So, yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm going to flip back around here. I'm laughing at the comments here, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, in here, you have the cruise control here, and you have this set of buttons here. What these buttons do is they control that center display screen where we cycle through here. Things like tire pressure monitors are in here, speedometer if you just want that. So driver attention warning, we can turn that system on later if we wanted to, and the tire pressure monitors like we mentioned. So lots of things in here. But that is all controlled through right here. You're going to see a different set of controls in the EX Premium than this car here. Over here is a Bluetooth controls, and over there further is your headlights with the automatic headlights. Now, watch this when I turn them on. It's hard to show a little bit, but bam. That looks yellowy in the camera. It is bright white in person, and they are nice, sharp cutoff, bright white headlights. Those LED lights are absolutely worth it, in my opinion. So you get them in both of these cars, and of course you have blind spot detection right there as well. So just nice little features. For most people, this is the appropriate step up. If somebody says it's a dash hard plastic, oh, let me just film it for you. No, it is. It has some give in it. It has some rubbery. It's not hard plastic. I'm hitting it with my nail. It sounds maybe plastic on camera. Hard plastic would sound like this. This is a rubbery plastic there. So good question. While we're talking soft touch, something like the Kia Sportage has always bothered me because the base level has rubber or has a hard plastic armrest here. This one here is a soft plastic. So again, when we look at pricing, the most expensive vehicle we have in our video today is under the price of an entry-level Kia Sportage, and you're loaded with features. So everything you see here either gets better or is what you see when we move to the next trim line. So let's go there for a second. Actually, what we'll do, we'll take your questions if you have any right now. Excuse me, flip back around. Take your questions if you have any right now. If you don't have any questions, then we're gonna continue on to the premium, and we'll show you what that vehicle adds, because in my mind, it's, like I said, it's the kind of thing that can make a difference between just driving an appliance and having a car that you really enjoy. And once you're gonna spend this much anyways, to go that little bit more to get a car you really enjoy, for some people, I think that might be worth it. So let's jump out. We're gonna leave this car in the, actually we'll turn this car to the off position for a second. Headlights will stay on for a minute, but we'll turn them off. All right, go back and we'll take your questions right now. Those of you that are on, haven't got a lot of likes today, haven't got a lot of people today. Kind of standard stuff for June in the auto business, and also just not a lot of new things to show you today. But again, we're showing you in-depth stuff, whether it's new or whether it's not, this is what we'll show you. And I like these cars, so this is part of our fun Friday. All right, we're gonna flip back. You can look at the cars, not me. And somebody says, where is everyone? Everyone has already heard Forte. And as I said off the top, nobody has more video of the 2021 Forte online than us. And that's not just a saying. I really mean that. There's not a channel on YouTube that has more video of the 2021 Forte than us. So that's part of why. They've already seen these cars a number of times. But again, we want to provide fresh content. And if you have fresh questions, we'll answer them. Okay, so no real questions that are worth. Somebody said, drink some water. I should do that. A lot of rain on the cars. Yeah, it poured rain this morning, but it just got sunny right now, so that's kind of nice. So hopefully it'll be a nice afternoon now. It's not forecasted to be. It's forecasted for more rain. Let's take a look at this car now, because there's a lot of things I want to show you in here that are not on the other car. And again, if you talk about enjoying a vehicle, you're still under the price of a base Sportage. You get everything you just saw, but here's where you get some key differences. Right now, we have that keyless entry, so that I can tap the button on the door with keeping the key fob in my pocket, and we jump in here. All right. Because it's push button start, we can just keep our foot off the brake, double tap, and we'll do the same position. We're in that accessory type position, and we can take a look here. Now you can see a little bit more of a better screen here. Excuse me while I peel some plastic off here so we can film better. Just so you guys know, I had a little trouble getting here on time. I was just doing some other stuff and we had a delivery in here. So you have this nice clear display screen. It is now a color display screen. So you have a little bit different display, a little bit larger. You can see that color screen. So it does look nicer in here. 5.4 liters per 100 kilometers, definitely achievable. This car's only got 27 kilometers on it though. You can see Fahrenheit. If you want Celsius, we can do that. But basically the same dash in here. But again, this nice color screen over here. The other thing you have is, whoa, let's just zoom out for a second. In here, you now add Sirius satellite radio. So Sirius satellite radio is a big step. If you are a music person that likes to have music, you have everything you need, information, sports, whatever. There's all kinds of stuff in here. You still have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You can go through here and you can see Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. If you plugged in, you would have them. Sirius XM data, which is kind of nice. You have sports and stock. So you don't have the weather data, the HD radio data, but you still have some extra data in there. And we'll slide across here. There's some setup menus. You can play with that. So basically the same stuff, but that Sirius XM gives you some options there. Of course, when you buy a car from us, you get 3 free months of Sirius satellite radio. And then you also have the radio, of course. Where's the Forte made? It is made in Korea. So I missed the rest of your question. I'll grab that in a second when I come back to it. Coming down here, the big difference you're going to see here is this one's in Fahrenheit today. It could be in Celsius, and I wish the camera had 2 eyes instead of 1 so that you wouldn't see the glare here. There's no glare for me in person here. There is some smudge marks on here, so we'll see if we can wipe that clear. But anyways, This can be Celsius, this can be Fahrenheit, and the big difference is if I turn this one, I can go higher or lower with the temperature, and you can see driver's side and passenger side can be different temperatures. So let me just go through here for 1 second. What we'll do is we are going to, hold on a second here, other temperature unit. We're going to switch those right now to Celsius because we are in Canada, and you can see it's to the ½ degree, which is kind of nice. So that ½ degree makes a difference to some people. To me, I like it. And again, so you can set driver and passenger differently. And on a road trip, that can make a lot of difference if you share a car or if you're riding with someone. Makes it more comfortable. My wife, neither of my cars have this, and she really wishes it does. So that is a nice feature that you gain here. And then the other thing is, being the automatic climate control, you set it to whatever temperature you want. If you sync it together, if I set it to 21 degrees, I do nothing. Ever. If it needs to defrost the windshield, it'll defrost the windshield. If it needs to bring heat to the feet, it'll bring heat to the feet. Air conditioning up to the body, it will do that. You never have to touch it. You can adjust it if you want to move the air around, but it will bring it to 21 degrees because I have it set there. Whether I need heat, whether I need air conditioning, it'll move it around. It'll adjust the fan speed. It's kind of a nice feature to have. I really like automatic climate control. I just find it so much more convenient. So there is that. And then you come down, still got the wireless charger, still got everything the same down there. Everything looks the same down here, and it is. Now, when we come across to the steering wheel, your cruise control is different, and this is better. You have the regular cruise control, and now you have the smart cruise control. So this is going to keep the distance from the vehicle in front of you. If you are road tripping a lot, there's a couple reasons why I think this car may suit you better. The cruise control that keeps the distance. If you're going somewhere and you set it for, let's say we're law-abiding citizens, we drive at 100 kilometers an hour on the highway, and someone comes out in front of us and they're going 90, the car will automatically slow down and keep its distance. When they clear, it'll automatically speed back up. Where I really like this cruise control is not so much on the highway in those situations, it's in stop-and-go traffic. I'm having real trouble with the bright light here. Stop-and-go traffic is when I use this cruise control, which makes no sense to people who only have regular cruise control, because as you accelerate to 8 kilometers an hour, back down to 3 kilometers, back down to stop, back up to 22 kilometers, back down to stop, back up to 60 kilometers, back down to stop, the car can accelerate and brake on its own for you. So you're still in control, you're steering and doing all those things, but it takes all the pressure out of commuting. So if you're a commuter, this is a car that will take a lot of that driving away from you if you want to. And now you're still in control. I don't want to say it's taking it away from you, but it takes the stress out of stop and go traffic. It takes the stress out of long trips. And with that lane keeping assist on the highway, when you're going that 100 kilometers an hour and you're people cutting out, people going front, and it's keeping its pace, it will also keep you centered in the lane. This car, when people used to be like, oh, you want a large car to go on a long road trip? Not anymore. This car is as comfortable as any large car on a road trip, and because of these functions like smart cruise control and lane keeping assist, a long road trip is way better. So whether you're commuting or whether you're on a long road trip, the smart cruise control is better. Now, the other thing you get in this car is a cell phone app. When you see these three buttons, or specifically this one here and this one here, this one is now going away, you have a cell phone app. What does that do? Basically, it's a remote car starter with a cell phone app. That's the big thing people use it for, but it does so much more. If you want to lock the car, unlock the car, see if it's locked, check your mileage, see if you need an oil change, all kinds of things, you can see it from the app. It's free for 3 years. There's going to be a cost after that. They haven't sorted out the price of that in 3 years because they're still adding features. So you're going to gain features potentially on this app, but it does a lot for you. It's something I highly recommend. And like I said, you have these buttons as well, so you can hit that in an emergency, and you can hit for a tow if you ever needed that as well. Android Auto Apple CarPlay is the navigation system that I would use on this. That works very well. So you're stepping up huge. Now, let's jump out for a second here, because in addition to getting some of these things that we were talking about for, I'm going to leave the car on now, the benefits of the Smart Cruise, the benefits in here. When we talked about that key, I want to show you a difference here with the key. When I look down to the trunk over here, there is or the trunk button, there is a lever there for the trunk and the fuel, but because this is a keyless entry car, my key might be buried in my pocket, it might be buried in my purse, it could be my backpack, it could be my lunch kit, it could be my anything. I never have to pull it out of my pocket to get in this car. I just tap the button on the door opens. But when I come to the trunk, on that car with the key, if you come to the trunk, you can come up here and you can find the little camera, which is right there, and you can put your finger underneath there. There's no button or anything there. You just, you have to pull your key out to get in the car. So in this case, you have to pull your key out to pop that trunk, or you can go around to that release I just showed you on the white car. The white car has the release, or You can simply stand behind the car with that proximity key in your pocket. The car can recognize you and pop the trunk on its own. I haven't set that up yet, but if you haven't set that up, what you do, come back here, and on this camera, it's a little bit bigger camera, there's a button. Tap the button and the trunk opens. So getting that smart key fob, to me, I've always had a hatchback, and hatchbacks always have the button on the trunk. On the Forte with the key, it does not. On the Forte without the key, it does have that button. So a lot of convenience there. And if you're considering an SUV but you want better fuel efficiency, the Forte is something that you should consider because you have great fuel efficiency, and a lot of people want an SUV for trunk space. This is my teddy bear. We use him to measure trunk space. You could fit 2 teddy bears in here. Like, there's me looking down. Put Teddy nice and comfortable over there. And here's us looking down from the trunk, and we're still getting the angle. I mean, his ear sticks out and his foot sticks out, but you can stick a second Teddy in there. You have a ton of floor space here. Now, let me pull him out of here, and I'll show you, well, I'm going on vacation and that kind of thing. I get it, you're going on vacation. So I'm gonna kind of surprise some of you when I lift this right here. There is no spare tire in this car. An inflator kit is becoming more and more standard, and a lot of people don't tell you this. Inflator kit's great if you're going camping. You can inflate your air mattress, you can top up your tires. You have tire pressure monitors, so you know if they're low, but here is a massive space. So when you're going camping, you're gonna load this first with all your stuff, and then you're gonna load this here. And if you don't have any kids or anything else with you or any friends with you, you're gonna fold your seats down and load that down. You're gonna have a ton of luggage space to take everything you need. You can fit everything in these trunks. So a Forte is a very good option for an outdoorsy kind of person. I'm part of a Facebook group, it's a kayaking group. Somebody says, hey, how do I put my kayak on my Forte? Well, very simply, you buy some roof racks with it, and because it's lower down, you can fit your kayak on there and get it on or off easier. So now you've got a sporty car that gets great fuel efficiency, that has the features of a luxury car. And when I say luxury car, in a lot of our SUVs, you're spending $45,000 to get things like that smart cruise control. Well, you're 20 grand less in this car to get some of those features. So you've got the forward collision avoidance in these. You've got the blind spot detection, rear cross traffic alert, all those safety features in an efficient package that looks sharp, and it has these LED lights out front. And the LED lights, the high and low beam is in here. Now you're gonna see some flickering here. These X patterns, these daytime running lights, some of the LEDs can flicker on camera. They appear to flicker on camera. They don't flicker in real life. But as we come down here, blindingly bright in the center. Now again, those aren't blinking in real life, but you can see here, and it's, I mean, you can't see well. This is one thing that doesn't film well. Bright white light, and it's low down, so it's not flashing in somebody's face when you're driving, but you have that amazing bright white light. So what that does is when you see an animal crossing the road or something else, you can instantly identify what it is. Your brain knows what to do because it's not like, what was that? It's like, oh, that was a rabbit, and you can steer around that, or brake or do whatever you need to do. So really nice features in this car. And again, you're basically around $25,000-ish. Let's just double check here for you again. Where we are in the lineup, in the Forte lineup. So let's just start here. Very bottom of the line, let's go right there first. LX manual transmission, this car is cheap, $17,895. Now you're not getting a lot of the features I showed you today. You get the automatic and your about $19,500. The EX adds the safety features. If you are thinking about this car or this car, go for the EX. The EX has nicer wheels, but it adds that safety features. It's not a whole lot. It's gonna help you in resale value. It's gonna help you in safety. Those are things I like. And you're gonna get the heated steering wheel, which is pretty cool too. Now, from here, if you're already saying, okay, I'm gonna definitely get this car and not these two cars, this is the market I'm talking to where you may want to move up to the 2 vehicles I showed you today. So you're at that 21.2, let's call it. You move up here and you get all those LED lights, the sunroof, and the larger wheels, and a few other little things. I think the larger wheels really make this car look better in person. It may not show up so much on camera, but when you pull into someone's driveway for the first time with your brand new car, they're gonna look at this car and go, wow, that looks like a nice car. It's simply a little bit larger and better styled wheels. Now again, between the 2 cars we showed you today, Uvo Intelligence, that cell phone app, smart cruise control, advanced forward collision avoidance assist. Basically it sees cyclists and pedestrians in better ways than the other one does. The other one just looks for vehicles. For that forward collision. Smart key with push button start. We talked about the advantages there. And the dual zone automatic air conditioning. Somebody says, can we get a 2021 Forte GT video? Yes, but probably not, to be very honest. 2021 Forte GTs for this dealership are sold out. So unless we dealer trade one in, because someone's bought one. We probably won't see that until the 2022 model, because 2022s are starting to show up on our lots already. So that's where we're at with that car. We have got a number of GT videos, especially the Forte 5 GT. In Canada, we have the Forte 5, the hatchback. So, so there you go. So that's where I encourage you. Again, a lot of people who look for a Forte, I want a compact car, it's just a vehicle. And for that little bit extra, it becomes just a vehicle that you really enjoy. Now, some other interesting things. We had some people that had a minivan, some friends of mine had a minivan that basically broke down. They needed to, you know, they could have spent a whole bunch of money in service, and they decided, okay, we need a new minivan. They happened to have 2 kids. They left with a Forte because the Forte had better value, better features, and they got a brand new car with 5 years of warranty, like great warranty, and they got that because it suited what they need. The trunk was large enough. They got a hitch, or not a hitch mount, you can get a hitch mount, but they got a sort of grab mount, trunk mount bike rack and took their bikes on it, and they had everything they needed in a car that every day of the year gets great mileage, drives great, and it's a simple car with great features. So it is something worth considering. And I think we're just going to probably leave it there. We only got to 20 likes today, but we got a few of you on. I'm going to go through your questions here and make sure there's nothing I missed. So if you have a question, make sure you ask it right away now, because it takes a second to get to me, and I don't want to miss anybody who's on today. I want to thank everyone for joining us. I know that we've done these cars a lot. We have a smaller audience today, so that's okay. Are the GTs hard to find? I live in Quebec and plan on getting one. GTs are not hard to find. We don't stock as many GTs as we do these. GTs, we certainly always stock at least a GT or a Forte 5 GT. The only issue is right now it's end of model year type stuff. So just go one question at a time here, Peter. GTs you should be able to find. There will be less stock right this minute than there has been at other times, because the 2022s will work their way in at some point. But they are definitely still available. GT, Forte 5 and Forte GT. Someone says, is this a Forte the size of the Camry? No, the Forte is actually a Corolla competitor, but it is larger to me than the Corolla. So it's smaller than the Camry. It's in the Corolla class, but it's a way nicer car. And I think for a lot of people, you'll find it's a little bit larger than the Corolla. At least it feels a little bit larger to me. So I think it's a better option that way. Certainly more fun to drive and has a lot more style than the Corolla, if you ask my opinion. But it is not quite Camry size, no. So there we go. Someone said, thanks, no problem. Notifications don't work half the time. Oh, okay, that's too bad. Okay, Forte GT is greater than, somebody says the Forte GT is greater than all the other trims. Yeah, the Forte GT. So what is a Forte GT? Just so we're clear. New engine, new transmission. It's more powerful. They rip out the whole rear suspension and give it a special independent suspension. They give larger wheels, sport suspension, larger front brakes. It's a completely different car in many ways, and it is a blast to drive. This class of car is far more the economy-ish car. Still very fun to drive, still corners very well, but these are the same engines as in the Kia Seltos, same engine transmissions as in the Kia Soul. So Forte, Soul, and Seltos, for the most part, share the same engine transmission. You just decide on how you want it, and that's what we've got here today. So, anything else here? I think that's about it. I think we've covered it all. So we're going to leave it there. I want to thank everyone for joining us, and if you have any questions and you're watching this and you're not live, let's just ask us in the comments below. I do my best to answer just about every single comment there, so be happy to help you. I want to thank everyone for watching, and have a great weekend. We'll see you again on Monday.